Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the TechGuy podcast, episode number 37. A lot of people were talking about AI bubble in the last 2 weeks, and I was saying a lot of discussion was going about AI bubble. I was saying a lot of videos being made on the YouTube too. There's recommended to me about AI bubble, is it there or not? And then I see Sam Altman tweet, on Twitter, where he tweeted about some new updates, exciting updates about coming to next 2 months, especially till the end of December. And in the end of the tweet, he tweeted about how in the end of December you might get an update in ChatGPT where you can make erotica stuff, you know, 18 plus adult content in ChatGPT. So yeah, moving on today's topics, we have, as mentioned in the title, that we are going to talk about AI bubble. It is actually there or not, what's my opinion here in it? You know, gathering all sorts of information, and we are going to talk about that. Then we have Samsung launching their XR headsets, which we are talking for like past whole month since the month of September, and since Samsung even launched it in the month of January, which I know they were going to launch it after the Apple event. They know it. I knew it. They were going to do that. So here it is. Then we have new updates for Instagram, PG, like Instagram Teens account, where it will be guided through PG-13 movie rated system, and we have other updates, something related towards a weekly AI news, small updates we are going to go through. So yeah, let's just get into the episode number 37 of the TechGuy podcast. Let's talk about the AI bubble topic. So AI bubble topic is kind of like going on for past 2 weeks. Like a lot of people are making video. Like at least I saw in my recommendation of YouTube, and I was like, I think people are talking about it now. We have on this channel personally I have talked about AI bubble, not in an in-depth specific topic like you can see on the title thumbnail like that. Right now you are seeing this, but we have covered this topic quite well, and how and why is it even not AI bubble or not. So yeah, if you are watching my content for past at least like past 7 to 8 episodes, you might get the idea of what I'm talking this topic 2 right now, but we are going to expand in that. So yeah, so I think Hank Green and Voidzilla, uh, he is also the CoffeeZilla, his main channel mostly, but Hank Green and Voidzilla made a video on AI bubble, where Hank Green talks about a picturization of how AI bubble is actually working on, and it's quite good. I will say it's he talks about an article from Bloomberg, and he explains in a simple way. If you wanna get into that graphic, which is really interesting, I will link that video in the description too. And Voidzilla made a video about perspectives of what people are thinking in the industry about, is it AI bubble or not. So a lot of people think there are different perspectives, that is there is actually AI bubble, that is actually, but it's not, it doesn't matter if it's a bubble or not. Jeff Bezos said that, there are also other people who are talking about it is not an AI bubble, clearly saying that. Then other people are talking about it is an AI bubble. It is an AI bubble, but it is good because in long term we are gonna have a lot of tech revolving around AI. So a lot of perspectives are there. So if you want to know a lot of perspectives from what experts are saying this, not just me here, I will recommend Voidzilla video where he just gives multiple options and perspectives from actual people. He's made video where he mentions that. So both of these videos are in the description. Okay, so you can go check it out. I will highly recommend it after the podcast. Okay, you have to watch this podcast till the end. So that's there. But let's talk about, is it actually bubble or not? Is AI bubble actually exist? So it's not that simple, but I will so simplify that you can have your own opinions on that definitely. But I will definitely give my answer yes or no. But it is again not that simple, and what we are doing here is basically not going to uh, make it complicated, but it make it simple for us to understand the whole perspective of it. Okay, now according to the economic bubble term. So if you don't know what is bubble, you know, basically what is bubble in terms of economic. Okay, we know what actually bubble is, but in terms of economic, where numbers are talking about in the industry, where in stock market, where investments are going on, the bubble is something what over exaggeration of one pricing where the facts and the numbers says that it is not even matching. So basically the hype is so much so that the bubble grows and grows so much, that is the investment bubble means, and it grows so much so that much that it creates a bubble around something that is growing faster and faster, which is ultimately not good. Okay, so when the investment grows so and so much so on, and the price of that stock, the investment, the property, or whatever it is grows so much so beyond its certain limit, which doesn't justify that, which doesn't justify that kind of investment, that is what we call bubble. And that bubble can burst at any time now, and the price drops so much so that the people who are investing in it loses a lot of money in it. Now when it comes to AI bubble, not just companies are investing it, but government investments are going a lot. You know, US government is giving so much so sanctions and contracts to OpenAI openly when Trump administration came into power this year, and a lot of uh, investments is going on, and a lot of bets are going on in the AI. So that's why its growth is growing and growing. Which again kind of an forming and bubble. Like I said, a lot of investments are going on, but not the output or the numbers that we are seeing that justify to be that much kind of a level of investment. Now there are a lot of bubbles throughout the history, and a lot of people talk, the famously that people talk about is the dot-com bubble. Then we talk about 2008 market crash for real estate or bank, which happened within bank, which I don't know mostly, but this is a form of economic bubble term that is used in the industries for years now. Now according to this kind of an, I will say, definition of what is bubble, what is economic bubble, is there going too much investments on AI right now, even though it is not justifying the same outcome? The answer is yes. Okay, OpenAI, let's take OpenAI as a whole lot of a company, because it's one of the most biggest competitor right now, because companies like Google, Microsoft, Apple, Oracle, they are there for past decades. But the thing with OpenAI coming into like a dark horse in this whole thing, and Sam Altman risking his ability, basically risking the, like, it's a risky business what they are pulling off through OpenAI, not just coming out of like a non-profit now through profit profitable business now, right, they are trying to run. That's why actually, last year so much so drama happened regarding OpenAI, which we covered too. But you know is yes, the investment is too much. More than half $500 billion of investment has gone towards OpenAI, which is again does not justify the outcome of what AI is giving. Where output of what the investment is going on is not as same as input, or at least even profitable. So in basic investment terms here, it is not logically to even invest in this kind of things it in a large sense. Okay, where, like I said, $500 of investment, where OpenAI claims they are that level of company, but the output of it through their enterprise models, through their subscription models, through their a new Sora model, let's say, like where they sell their AI, which is not as good, and they are not even making money. And that's why I even talked about in the last couple of episodes that they are just throwing out a lot of stuff to people in the industry, where you know they're just trying to see which stuff works, where that's why in the intro I also talked about the erotica stuff, the adult content that they are going to introduce, because you never know where can the market they want to, they just don't want to ignore the market, where they will make money. uh, Even though it might seem kind of a ridiculous, or might seem some kind of, I will say, too much of a it's silly, like what uh, XAI, when he talked back in Cleo's interviews, where he talk about we haven't introduced a, let's say, and an animated figure, like kind of, and like he talked back against XAI, which is in next couple of months, in the month of December, they are planning to do the same what XAI did. So basically what OpenAI is trying to do, and I have talked about in the past couple of episodes, where throwing out a lot of stuff, whichever works on a long term basis, they are going to continue with. This example of OpenAI is one of the most simplest, and I will say straightforward example to let anyone know is there a bubble or not. So according to the definition I gave to you, that is there too much of kind of an investment going on, regardless the outcoming going on, and the people are just seeing so much so hype around these investments, hype around the AI, and this technology is growing bigger and bigger. Yes, too much of a hype is going on. There is no significant one single product that is out since last 2 years that we have seen that people are using in their day-to-day life. I'm talking about physical product here right now. Okay, and that OpenAI is also trying to make a physical product too next year with OpenAI. We talked about in the month of June where they announced it, but now, like I said, last 2 years, last 2024 and 2025, this year, a lot of companies try to pull off things. Like last year, there is Rabbit AI, basically that whole device by, uh, uh, I don't know the company, but the Rabbit one, which kind of an orange device, which was really, in terms of look wise, it was really good. It like kind of an give a feel of Tomodachi. To, Tomodachi. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but human AI pin, which has been sold to HP now for like millions of dollars, and they have part away, and they just have, like I said, no significant build upon AI, which is hard for newer companies, and the hype towards AI has so much so gone that we have already seen two companies getting basically destroyed basically in the end. Now, and we also talked about how even the biggest, one of the most biggest company, that is Apple, which is a $1 trillion company, has taken two steps back regarding AI. Basically, like they even wanted to hop on the AI, basically AI wave last year with Apple Intelligence, which they heavily marketed, and they did not meet the demand, and they could not bring the product to a life itself, and they have to pull back all the advertisement they did. They have to pull back the promises they have basically told about a lot of people last year. And even we talked about in the WWDC this year, even we talked about the Apple event launch where they launched iPhone 17, where there was no significant amount of AI talk, not at all actually. They talk about Apple Intelligence. The only talk about Apple Intelligence was again AI, which is again from their chips, which they always talk about it's AI capable, which they are talking for like last 2 years since 15 Pro that I have even right now. So what does that mean basically? What does that mean is actually even a $1 trillion company like Apple is getting a two steps back regarding AI, is because they didn't want to even know how they wanna nail AI stuff. Like there is a significant whenever there is a new tech coming on, incorporating that new tech in people's life and showing them the how it actually will get is harder now than before. Okay, it was easy for people to jump on smartphone industry. Again, it was harder for years because it was first of all not cheap, and the second thing was the availability of it and the way the form factor it was reaching towards the people. Now there are dozens of hundreds of companies just making, from fake companies from to like cheaper to mid range to high price premium companies. There are a lot of more smartphone industry has grown on now. Now, does that mean that this AI bubble that we are talking right now, which for me is actually a bubble, is going to be not a good step towards in the tech industry? Definitely not. Like I said, when it comes to any kind of new tech, there are risky situations. There when some companies just hop on and try to survive no matter what, and that is what just OpenAI is doing. And the and to just run these AI models, these big giant AI models that we are seeing right now, comes with a price basically, yeah, which they need high level chips that they are trying to just buy so much so on from Nvidia. A company like Nvidia is getting so much so market cap so much so higher, which it became one of the most biggest companies. A chip making company became the biggest design company. Okay, chip designing company became the biggest company in the world, which 3 trillion market dollar cap, which was insane for them too. And the demand for Nvidia just got higher because of their high demand chips that they are doing it for decades now. And Yeah, so basically what is happening right now, the demand is higher because, yeah, the reason is the demand is higher. And people, what when the demand gets higher and higher, there is some kind of threshold where if this whole investments, that not just companies but what we are looking right now, where OpenAI is trying, even Gemini, like from Google, where these all companies are trying to nail a product. Google is trying to nail AI through their smartphones, through their XR glasses that they launched this year again, through their again chatbots, AI chatbots, through their foldables, through their tablets, through their home depot, home products. Same with Amazon, same with Microsoft through their Windows. What they are trying to do ultimately is to nail a certain amount of AI product that will just crash, or you can say get insane amount of demand from at least the consumers, that is me, that is who you are guys watching right now, are the ultimate consumers. So like I said, even person like who me talks about AI a lot of much, don't even use too much of a AI, as at least the chatbots. I do use chatbots. I do use chatbots on regular basis to test out how they work on simple basic questions, but incorporating in that my work, I'm not doing it because I don't want to, because it doesn't feel I want to incorporate at least. So there are a lot of, kind of, and I will say, the market where already people, when they don't want something that is, uh, where they don't want to spend too much amount of money. Like I don't want to spend my amount of money to for on these AI models to to help me. It's like obviously I don't want any. It's not that I'm saying I don't want any kind of help from AI. I'm using AI on daily basis. Like uh, Apple, like using Apple Intelligence in the sense of, I will say, uh, the eraser, the photo eraser, that is AI. Like these are some basic things I use AI for. Or even like in emoji maker, or even like incorporating AI into your work, which is kind of an, I will say, hard. That's why a lot of companies are, what they are trying to also do is incorporating AI in existing tools that we use, like you giving AI in editing, giving software, or even like incorporating AI in your smartphone. You're not making an entirely new device, you are just giving a feature that powers by AI. So like I said, what all these companies are trying to do is just trying to nail a perfect good product that will give them kind of an, I will say, just like what smartphone did, what PCs did for last 2 years, to give them kind of an, I will say, upper hand for the next 2 decades basically. It's not that simple, like I said always, when it comes to any kind of tech, especially now. The reason I'm saying especially now than before is because what smartphones did, what PC did, laptops, or what even the tech industry did for last 2 decades was to solving simple problems, and a lot of service sector gone up. But now, where we already have tools that which are helping us on day-to-day life, what is actual AI doing? Now there will be always people who don't want to incorporate any kind of another new technology in their life, where it makes, first of all, they have to pay for it makes no sense for them, and also in the end they don't want to ultimately. There are multiple different reasons. Some people just don't want to use AI, and some people just don't want to incorporate in AI because what this smart, like what the previous tech products and technology used to be, and used to be help them, is fine enough for them. So ultimately, nowadays it's too much of a hard task for any other company, to build something so new and tell, like they're like what OpenAI and this whole AI companies are trying to do is trying to build a totally new category, and which is too hard to build. Like I said, that's why building a product in AI is going to be insanely hard for a lot of companies, not because of its usefulness, because basically there will be and there is use of AI, but the problem is incorporating and telling people now, especially where people are also nowadays running away from tech, where they don't want to incorporate too much of a tech in their life, or where tech also, there is kind of a group of people who don't want to involve in terms of tech. There are also group of people who don't want to incorporate too much of a tech. So like there are a lot of layers now compared to what 10 years ago, or what 2008 or 2009 was, when the smartphone industry actually started, where fundamental problems were being solved. Now, when the fundamental problems has been solved, what AI is doing right now with the high consumer, basically what I'm talking about, high consumer audience. Basically, what I mean higher consumer audience means pro audience like me, or a person on a daily basis. Does he need an AI? What I mean by that is, do a person in a store right now, in a grocery store, does he need a AI or not? If it is not, then it will not he will not get it. He will not get into it. And there are a lot of businesses like that. There are a lot of people like that. And what these companies are trying to achieve with AI is ultimately hard. What ultimate with every technology we are trying to do is basically making products for the people to consume, to get. Ultimately, everything is made for the people. Okay. And now what if companies wants to justify this amount of $500 billion trillion investments on AI, where the outcome is not as going to be similar as what mobile industry was, which is so and so hard to pull off nowadays. You might even start a good, like I will say, a good smartphone company and make a lot of money nowadays, rather than going through AI, because not just because it is risky to do it, but also there is so unknown towards, like so hard on sometimes this kind of products, where majority of the people are still trying to figure out how they want to incorporate. And ultimately there are going to be a set of people who don't know how they want to incorporate, and even if they know, the decision is up to them. Do they want to incorporate this in their life? And majority of the people will say, will be divided. What I mean by that, not all people want to incorporate it, and not all people will incorporate it. So there are a lot of ambiguity there. Like now we talked about why it is the returns does not seems like, these are the factors, some of the factors I think personally, when it comes to any kind of new technology. But right now we are talking about AI, is the returns does not seem kind of enough, I will say, as I will say, too much, depending upon what investments are going on, and also it does not seem kind of, I will say, uh, uh, justifies the price that people are paying right now. What I mean by that people is the investments, by these companies. So it is, let's say, this money that we are seeing right now, that is, I will say, the $500 investment, the $1 trillion investment, or Nvidia getting $3 trillion cap in the industry. These are just numbers on a screen, I will say, because this is just a moving part of the money. What I mean by that is the money that you are seeing, that we are seeing right now, is just being invested and just moving around from companies to companies, and these companies are trying to figure out what the actual product they want to create and how AI we can incorporate. So this is how ultimately I feel like AI is actually, and the case is right now. So yeah, it is bubble, but does that mean this bubble is going to does that mean that AI is a tech where it is going to be useless for the people? No, definitely not. Like I said, incorporating AI is hard, but it is possible. The point is not here if AI is good or not. The point is here is actually how and why, and do people actually want it? And if some people want it, is there an even actually a good product out there? Like we are going to talk about OpenAI's new Atlas browser, which is ultimately one of the laziest work I have seen from OpenAI since last year. Not last year, since I will say there as a company. Like that browser is so much so lazy made by them. The reason I'm saying that is because I don't think when I saw that whole browser stream, that like the live stream they did, and the features that they were talking about, and the UI of whatever it is, it was so much bland, I will say, or so, I don't know, I can't find the word, but we will talk about Atlas browser definitely more and more and how it is, and I will definitely I lost some hopes when saying that Atlas browser and what they mean, what is actually agentic browser. And sometimes I feel like whoever these companies are making these browsers, and people who actually use browsers on day-to-day basis, I'm like, I don't think they get it. And they're trying to, again, like I said, they're trying to make high, like they're again trying to go with this whole features and making it more of a, you know a product for everyone rather than certain group of people. So I have a lot of thoughts regarding that, so we will talk about more of that in the end of the podcast, I will say. One thing I will definitely say when it comes to AI bubble is, yeah, the one of the thing with any kind of tech is the ambiguity of not knowing what and how it will basically evolve in next 10 to 15 years, you know. And like I said, like when YouTube launched, we never know what was going to be when 10 years from now, 15 years from now, and now it has become one of the biggest video platform, and one of the platform like amount of people just work here, like me, what you are seeing right now is like kind of an, I will say, a big platform shift from where it started, so you never know what is going to happen. So yeah, it is definitely a profitable business, but like I said, the bubble is there, the investments are too much, and sometimes somewhere in next 1 or 2 years the bubble will burst, and but the problem with this bubble is there is not that. So in next 10 to 15 years we might see a profit margin from, especially from OpenAI and these new companies that are starting actually, rather than, I will say, next 1 or 2 years, which are difficult for OpenAI, most probably because lots of bets are taken from a lot of people, investors from all around the world on OpenAI. So what I mean by that is the reason why I think that only OpenAI has this big problem is because OpenAI is a new company, and the advantage they have right now is an audience because they are a new company. The companies like Google, Apple, Nvidia, even Elon Musk, XAI, Claude, this all other companies that are doing AI right now, like which are on the internet, like on the talking points of the internet right now in the AI bubble, are going to not going to have this kind of level of problems. And the reason why is because they are not just AI company, like even if Google talks about how they are AI company for like past 10 decades, oh sorry, past 10 years, the problem with the advantage that Google and this whole big companies like even Microsoft has, amount of money they can burn on AI. What they can do is not what OpenAI can afford, not even afford even a little bit. What I mean by that is Google can burn money for next 10 years on AI and trying to develop super intelligence, where Meta is same trying to do that. Even Mark Zuckerberg talked about in the interview where he talked about even if it doesn't make sense burning billions of dollars, it will not matter to him because ultimately the ultimate product they are getting is good enough to make money. And he says that, so the money burning part, where this big billions of dollars and still can survive after that is insane. Is because the reason why they are not just AI companies. Google is a lot of a big company. It's so much so big company that they are monopoly. So even Apple even like as a big company as Apple, they have taken two steps back. We have talked about in the before too. So they can manage ups and downs when it comes to the industry. But when it comes to OpenAI, where these kind of big steps are taken towards them by government, by a lot of other industries, saying if OpenAI, what they are betting towards is ultimately the people they are working on. The amount of bets that people are taking on Sam uh, is insane, and OpenAI as a whole company. So they have one of the most big problems right now, So that's why they are so much so trying hard to get incorporate AI in people's lives, Then they see others not just as a competitor but as a favor to at least people getting their eyes on at least the word AI, people getting know it. And that is the reason why I think any kind of publicity towards AI, whether it is negative, whether it is positive towards their own company, towards other companies, they take it as a win. And that's why next year they are trying to launch a product. As much as he talks about how much AGI they want to develop, he's launching a product next year with OpenAI. With Johnny Ive and OpenAI, they are launching a product. Like where goes the whole AGI talk, where where goes the whole AGI talk where you will get your own personalized good AI, where it will solve so many problems, the meme where people where the meme where majority of the people talk about, how AI will cure cancer. And that meme template that is going on the Twitter where uh, uh, curing cancer on one hand, on the other hand launching Sora like AI's law, so like the contrast between what AI promised last year, the way people were talking about the AGI, the way people are talking about losing jobs till 2027, just jobs will completely get destroyed, which does happen. Like it's not that jobs will not gone or jobs will definitely evolve and change. Does that mean that we are so like we as a people, like any kind of product comes into the market when especially in terms of tech, the incorporation of that tech, like even in the companies right now you are seeing, especially from Google, the big industries, you know these companies are still trying to incorporate, like there are so many IT companies that are still trying to figure out how they AI, where the AI is most useful right now, at least in the IT sector, wherein doing code, doing a lot of stuff where companies can do it. and where AI will actually be useful. They are now also basically not trying to push hard, but trying to understand where they can do it. Now, definitely in next couple of years, I will say the jobs will evolve, especially in the IT sector. That is my prediction, where a lot of people will talk about productivity, and I will also talk about that, where the jobs will definitely evolve, especially in the IT sector. Now, where people talk about lawyers, where people talk about even like when people talk about AI will destroy you, especially content creators, especially AI or like artists, I'm like, that is far away from reality. And the people who are actually talking about right now, they I don't think they know how even artists make sometimes money, and how much amount, sometimes, like when people talk about Tesla or even Google's Waymo will destroy the industry of drivers. That is not going to happen. Okay, it is not as simple. First of all, that technology what they're talking about right now, that is Waymo and mm, Tesla's robotaxi. First of all, it is not perfect, and I have always talked about. I think every time, whenever there is a product like robotaxi or Waymo, that company, Tesla or even Google, the Waymo, who Google owns it, they are not going to take any kind of risk in terms of responsibility. They are not going to. I will say. They are not going to tell basically this is the perfect, I will say, the best ride for you, or they will not going to say this is the safest than their drivers. That is definitely not going to happen, because companies, like I said, as always, they responsibilities, so they always play the game of cautions. Okay, so when it comes to that, even when people talk about taxi drivers are going to lose their jobs, I was like, do you go out and imagine how taxi drivers actually work on day-to-day basis? Just because there is incorporation of Tesla robotaxi or Waymo in specific cities in US right now, does not make the fact that the amount of people just work as a drivers is insane. you know so yeah, what I'm trying to say here is ultimately the technology, even if it is get too much good, the incorporation of the technology in any kind of form and there is going to be divided as always, and people adapt. Some people definitely, it's not that people will not use those taxis. If it is available here, I will go and use it. In future, if it is get perfect, so much so that it is good as enough as the actual drivers, I will use it. It's not that. It's just ultimately what it is that we adapt. I think adaptability, what where people talk about any kind of technology, is totally kind of, I will say, people get wrong in terms of AI right now. So just try to ultimately the conclusion. I think we will talk about. I think we have talked for like past 40 minutes with AI bubble topic, where, like I said, for me, if you ask me, yes, there is an AI bubble, but yes, there is an AI bubble, but on a long-term basis, yeah, this technology, yes, is useful. You can, if you are a new startup who is going to start AI, think of that not as a money-making method. You will make money no matter what kind of product you are trying to make into the tech industry, but the incorporation and thinking of the consumer end product is really important, and that's why these companies are trying to just figure it out. OpenAI just trying to figure out how they can incorporate AI for everyone. And that's the worst condition you are right now. You have a company, but you don't know what your ultimately end consumers are. So yeah, do keep it. And yeah, I think that's it for AI bubble topic for now. We will talk about. I will definitely recommend you guys go and check Hand Green video and Voidzilla video. Both of the videos will be linked in the description. So welcome back. Let's talk about some weekly AI news. some there are some small couple of updates, and yeah, let's get into those first. So OpenAI basically Sam tweeted about some roadmap towards some updates for future. So what I talk about in the intro about the erotica? It's not a joke. He tweeted about it, and in the month of December, we might even get to see it. The erotica content that is made adult content, and they soon also will start to roll out age rating fully will be used for teens and adults. So start to roll out age restrictions, basically age rating for content and people basically. So the adult content that is being made on ChatGPT and even on Sora will be even age restricted, which is again I don't know how they are gonna do it, how they are gonna uh, make or like how they are gonna basically do it, that how they are gonna basically decide age restrictions. The biggest problem right now any other platform that is having right now, especially even social media platforms, is knowing is that person age, that he or she, whoever it is even right or not. Like people, the amount of ways people have around content, and when someone tweets about they will be rolling out age rating, it does not work. I don't think it will work, and it does not even matter. I will definitely say that if it is age rated or not, it is not about that adult content. It is just about the intention of that company, that is for OpenAI, if they actually want to do it. What I mean by that, they will definitely do adult content in Sora even in future. But what I mean by that is they wanna uh, basically are they so fully again towards protection acts, or even basically rating whatever they are doing, will they able to roll out like this? Like there are a lot of stuff, and I don't just that is that I don't have too much faith on OpenAI as a company, that they will do and go too much in depth. Yeah. So apart from that, there are some new updates on Sora. So we have more cameo. Basically, you can do now more cameos in Sora. That cameos of your own pet. You can do cameos of your own, like plushes, that you have stuffed animals or pets. Those toys. Or in within yours, you can do the cameos of that. Now again, Sora is still again for US and Canada users for right now, and for only iOS, which is again they are losing too much amount of users. Like I don't know why Android users are left feeling left. They are letting like letting out Android users on that like that. But yeah, but new cameos, some basic editing tools for videos, basically cutting and stitching together videos, which is some basic tools they are gonna add. They might even add communities in future. So basically, like they want engagement on Sora, and definitely they will try to add more and more updates. They will definitely announce DMs in future. They are trying to make a social media platform. That is what they are trying to make. AI is love for social media platform, which is again I don't know. I don't have stats for how many people are at least using it, because it's not even too much time to even get those stats. But let's see. And I don't even have that app, so I don't even know how much type of what kind of content is there. When OpenAI talks about the quality of content has improved in Sora, it's just hard to believe. Android version, there are some news for Android people out there who are using Android phones. The Sora pre-register has been started for Android users. So if you are in US and Canada, again for that only, pre-register for Sora will be, this is out. You can pre-register and basically test out before everyone. Now, and apart from the small all updates, we have kind of an, I will say, big thing I will say, and I hope it continues for everyone. That is the Likeness Protection Act by SAG-AFTRA. Basically, what that is, that Bryan Cranston, if you don't know him, he is one of the biggest actors. Basically, where he has worked in one of the biggest series in the world, that is Breaking Bad. He basically saw one of his uh, AI generation Sora videos on the platform, and he contacted basically SAG-AFTRA lawyers, basically everyone, to basically get those removed, and basically they're saying that they can't, like, basically drawing a line that you won't be able to use my likeness and my face in AI generation videos. And it was a positive, I will say, comment from both of the parties, because brand thanked OpenAI, SAG-AFTRA, or both of the companies. Even OpenAI said they are sorry, and they don't want to use people's likeness, which is again good, at least seeing this kind of comments from the company. But I hope actors, especially the likeness, I don't know people who like, if they can use people's likeness, just like especially as big as even Bryan Cranston. Like how many like there are in, like, the amount of public figures out there in the world. It's insane. I don't know how many people will get justice like what Bryan got. Basically, when it comes to his likeness, ouch. So it's hard, but at least seeing this positive outcome for Bryan, and I hope we see more and more strict action, at least from the people. So when people push back for these products, especially for AI generation of their own content, which is going to be really hard to do for a lot of people, but for some people it is easy. But I hope if you have power to do that, do it, because YouTube has actually did a great job with likeness detection, which I think giving people like majorly options, like giving you the choice if you are how your likeness is being used, at least on the YouTube platform. A great tool. So another couple of updates. Cloud and Microsoft 365, basically Cloud and Microsoft apps are now integrated, so you can integrate your if you are a Cloud user, you can integrate with now Microsoft apps, which I will say I'm not going to use it. I don't even use OpenAI, sorry, Microsoft Copilot that much. OpenAI. Now let's talk about now OpenAI releasing their own browser name Atlas, and one thing I wrote in my notes here right now is OpenAI don't know what is actual browser experience is, So a couple of I will say notes for you guys before if I'm going to talk too much about, not too much, but I'm going to talk about before about the browser that OpenAI released, that is Atlas. I am a hardcore user of any kind of browser. On my screen there are right now four browsers. Okay, four actively using browsers I use right now. So there is Microsoft Edge. I do use Microsoft Edge. There is Chrome. Obviously I have Chrome. Then there is Opera GX browser. Yep. Opera GX means gaming browser. Basically they have, I use it too. Then I have Zen browser, which is a browser basically made by the people. It is kind of an, I will say, Firefox. If you are a user of Firefox browser, it is a part of that only. Then I have the fourth browser that is called Zen browser. That is again by Opera. That is called Opera Zen browser, which is again really really good in terms of design, in terms of what it is made for. Now from these four browsers I use majorly for my work, that is Zen browser, which has insane amount of customization in tab system, in group system, in folder system, in even, I will say, a work system. Like there are so many, so customization, insane level of customization in terms of uh, Zen browser. It is highly recommend for me. If you if your workload is for like me who does a lot of research, a lot of writing, even if you want to organize your work well, it is insane. Before then I used to use a lot of Arc browser, but since Arc browser is been dropped by the browser company, I don't even use right now Arc. I have deleted Arc because they are now working on another browser called Dia browser, because that browser is only available on Mac. I don't have a Mac here. I have a HP laptop, so I'm not using that right now. In future, I might, whenever I get Mac or when Dia gets released over all of the, even on, let's say, Windows PC laptops. Hope you get sooner. But yeah, these are the four browsers I use. So I am kind of an, like you can say, I'm obsessed with browsers, and I used to have another browser called. Apart from this, I used to have typical browsers like Fox, even Firefox, which is again a really lightweight browser. I will definitely say. I don't know why I used to use a lot of Chrome before, but when I started using browsers, my one of my favorite thing about browsers is the customization they provide. So, like I said, the Zen browser provides me that. So mostly for my work, I use Zen browser, and for another, the second most used browser is OpenGX browser, which again provides me a lot of customization and shaders, which I really like. So the reason I wanted to give this kind of context before talking about Atlas, because Atlas is one of the most boring browsers I have seen. Okay, talking from my perspective, I will talk from first. Do I need AI, that kind of AI right now incorporated in browser? No. Can I, like, uh, majority of the time when I was like seeing the AI, the agent, basically what Atlas browser is, it is the agentic browser. What it did is ultimately make me feel like, oh my god, I'm losing so much of a good browsers, because Atlas is such a good browser in a, sorry, Zen browser is such a good browser that when it comes to using it, it is again lightweight, and uh, it is an actual browser rather than just agentic browser. What it basically, a chatbot is what OpenAI's Atlas browser is. Okay, it does not even, they don't even talk about the customization what people need. It doesn't have folders. Like, it doesn't have its own extension, and I know it's a new browser, but I think if they are launching a typical product like a browser and making people use browser, and people who are already, especially people like me, they want me to if they want me to convert from my own browsers to there, they have to give me more than just that agentic chatbot there right now, which will be there with every other website I visit, which, by the way, I always have on my side. Like, whenever I use browsing, I always have a chatbot besides me. The amount of chatbots I have right now, I have four chatbots open constantly whenever sometimes I need to test these agents. And then apart from all these browser, then we have this Copilot which is inbuilt in my PC. So why would I just need to use a browser, especially out of my way, where it is first of all not even as close as what I am using right now. So like I said, it is really bland and so boring to you even go and me download. And the first and the worst thing they have done is that it is only available for Mac users. The reason I said it is worst thing is because I don't know if they get it or not, but majority of the PCs in the world and laptops are not Mac. And I don't get, like, and I feel like whenever they launch something for first of all Mac, like, I don't know why people, like, I don't know why they plan something they might launch even for Windows, or even basically for any PCs. It's like, is it that hard that is it so much so hard for that company which is getting $500 billion of investment and not to make a browser both for Android, sorry, both for PC and both for MacBook. I don't know. That pissed me off because I can't use even if I want to. First of all, I don't want to use it. But even if I want to test it and want to share my opinion about that browser, I can't even do that. So it is kind of an, I will say, lame browser. One of the most, like, I don't know when, like, the even you can go into that live stream comment section and see even that it is just an Chrome that has been integrated in Gemini, and what that is what Google is actually doing. Google has already launched this same type of browser, which again I will say, which is Google's Chrome is much more better than that Atlas, which at least have amount of customization, amount of extension what Google Chrome has. I even use actually 4 to 5 extensions on any other browser. I need to use it. So when I saw Google integrating Gemini, I was like, okay, and even we talked about in this podcast couple of episodes ago, in even small weekly update, that Google has integrated Gemini. That is what here OpenAI did. Just copy pasted that what Google has doing, just integrated ChatGPT and made a basically browser, and basically integrated, like, no thinking about how the functionality of UI, how the moving part is going to be, like, a lot of stuff is just missing there. So for me right now, I will say totally no for me. Like, I'm totally not interested to even use it. I'm totally up to hear your thoughts regarding these browsers, because my problem with that browser is it's not a browser. Ultimately, it's just a chatbot, with multiple tabs. Ultimately that is it. And agent, like, I want a kind of an experience provided by other browsers which are actually good, at least. So yeah, that was just a roast for Atlas for me, which is kind of, and I will say, I'm up to hear your thoughts regarding Atlas, and how is it even useful to you guys, how is it even useful, and how a chatbot according to you is always useful, because in browser you can always have split, always have a browser of a chatbot always up to side to you, and whatever you need, like, not just OpenAI's ChatGPT, you can always have Claude. If you are a developer, you can always have Gemini, or you can always have XAI's browser if you want to. Like, at least you have multiple options there. So I am, like, really up to hearing people's thoughts, how they are going to use it, and are they actually looking forward to use this Atlas browser. So yeah, up up to you guys now. I gave my thoughts regarding it, which I actually don't like it. So yeah, we will take a break here, and after a break we will talk about Samsung's XR and other small news. But yeah, we will take a break and we will be right back. Let's talk about the Samsung XR glasses. Not glasses, sorry. Samsung XR headsets. Uh, Again, a competitor to Vision Pro, not MetaQuest. Okay, so Samsung launched their XR on Thursday, basically, and both of the videos I will link down in the description by Samsung. One is the announcement video, and one is how to basically the guide to use it. Okay, now in this whole like, when Samsung also launched their own XR, Apple even also launched their Vision 2, which is second gen Vision Pro. Keeping that in mind, not first gen. And MKBase did really make a good video about the new Vision Pro, which ultimately looks entirely same, apart from a new strap and M5 chip in that. Okay, that's the only new thing in this new Vision Pro, which is second gen, which is more heavier than the Vision Pro 1, and same price, not less. As a creator, I write, I write down a lot of notes and scripts and titles for shorts or videos, and I wanted to make a video and about a title, which title how Vision Apple is really going good with the Vision Pro. And I'm glad I didn't make that video, because Apple just proved me wrong, so much so wrong that I don't even now want to make video. That I will make video about totally opposite of it, right? How Apple AI, sorry, how Apple is ruining Vision Pro, So let's talk about it. So Vision Pro second gen basically is ultimately, like I said before, same. Now here comes in the game now. Also, Samsung has entered with their own XR glasses with Android XR that Google talked about in the Google I/O event. Now here comparison, Android XR, that is basically Samsung XR, is lighter than Vision Pro. It is half the price of Vision Pro, that is $800. Not 800, sorry, $1,800, I think. Yep, $1,800. Then it is the biggest, I think, is it has Android. Okay, and the best thing about it is, even MKBHD did talk about in his video, that is it has YouTube, which from 2 years since launch of Vision Pro does not even have YouTube as an app to watch. That's, I will say, Vision Pro and headsets are the only gadgets where the only major purpose of it for most of the people is to watch. And where is the a major amount of content that is available, that is YouTube, and the separate dedicated app for Vision Pro is not even available for that. Now, like I said, Samsung nailed the part and just hit out of the court. Like it's kind of like a home run from Samsung, because they did not have to go too hard, obviously, because they knew what their competition was. Not MetaQuest, their competition was Apple Vision Pro, and they nailed it. Second, they did not have to do too much of a hard in terms of, I will say, they just have to make better product than Apple Vision Pro that they did. Lighter, cheaper, and with Android getting amount of developers with that help is going to help a lot. Now, is it better than MetaQuest? Because MetaQuest is again a lot cheaper. It is $500 to $600 just, and you get same amount of features, same amount of more features than what it those two can even provide. So that is a totally different case. But Meta is even happy. I think Mark Zuckerberg is even more happy that there is competition. People are getting it right now. But the problem of Vision Pro right now, is not that I was thinking Apple was making a lighter Vision Pro. I was thinking Apple will be making a Vision Pro for less cheap price, but it is like, I think after seeing the new lighter, after seeing the Vision Pro 2, I don't think they even care too much of it that in that perspective. I think they have taken two steps back here again, and they are looking forward to what Meta has launched, that is glasses, and what Google is launched this year, that is Android XR glasses, which are back again in the game. So what I mean by that, ultimately, from all these scenarios, what we can get up to is the adaptation of glasses is too much of a more of a big thing for people than the heads quest or headsets. Seeing side by side, glasses are more accessible, and glasses are already an accessory for majority of the people. So like, for me it's not an accessory, for me it is a necessity. But for majority of people, glasses are more of an accessory also, and also necessity. So you can get glasses, I can get Meta glasses with numbers in it. So the usage of those and the adaptability of those products are more. And like I always say, companies will go after that the adaptation rate is higher. So there are also rumors right now that Apple is scrapping the lighter Vision Pro and making more of a glasses, going towards the glasses route, where Meta is going, and where Android, we will see a new product will by, and by Samsung too. So a lot of companies are, not a lot of companies, where adaptation rate is going on too much, companies shift back, and that is what Apple is doing right now. So I feel like when it comes to vision, I think definitely Apple has kind of an, I will say, fail after even 2 years. After even 2 years, they can even the product they are bringing in the market is just the same Vision Pro, nothing different, nothing even same different in the pricing. Same product that people even notice the difference majority of time, because people even know don't even didn't even buy it, because it's a really freaking hard product to justify it, to give people to recommend that you can go and buy it. At least MetaQuest has too much things to do in it, and you can at least have fun with it. you know and I don't know how the reception for $1,800 Samsung XR is going to do, but compared to Apple, definitely better, I will say. But summarizing everything and what you can expect in future, I believe that the adoption rate of glasses are going to be more and more. I believe that, yeah, because after seeing the glasses announced by Meta, I actually had an urge to buy it, and which are actually not that expensive, I will say. You know, yeah, unless until they are a good product, justifying the price, which looks like, now. Now companies are going to definitely pivot from headsets to a lot of other stuff, but are they going to launch? Are they going to launch this sooner or later? I don't think so, because if you go from Apple's perspective, they have a lot to work on. In next couple of years, Apple is going to launch a lot of products, but compared to what other people are already have launched, I think Samsung will definitely double down on their own glasses. They have their own rings too. That there is no update for rings for this year, which is kind of an, I will say, not a big surprise for me. But Samsung has a lot of other products that, at least in the accessory, compared to what Apple has. You know, they already are making foldables. They are already are making flips. They already are making right now XR headset too. So I think compare it to ultimately summing up everything, summarizing up everything, not summarizing up everything. I think companies are like, there is not kind of a big uh, competition in this case, at least in XR headsets, and I will say glasses too. And do we see too much of a competition in next couple of years? It's hard to say, because products are hard to make, even if it is a good copy. You know, even if you have to copy based the homework, it's not a copying a homework and making it perfect is again a big of a deal. But next couple of years are really going to be a new level of products launched by Apple, definitely. By Samsung is going to play definitely a safe game, in the sense is like, they are already like, they are one of the company just like Google, who has insane amount of money, and they are working so many things in the back, but they just don't want to release and take a risk in introducing something new that they took last year, that is introducing ring. Is That does not mean the rings are the only uh, they are the only ones who have released rings. Before them, a lot of companies have released their own rings, because but their competition are not those companies. Their competition is always uh, uh, Apple. Give a couple of basic topics that are: Instagram has added PG-13 ratings to all teens accounts. So basically whenever all the teens account will get PG-13 rating of what movies are, basically, which is again, like I said, a lazy work by them, but at least they are trying something. Let's see how it working. Again, I don't have any kind of data regarding how, at least, if are teens actually using Instagram teens account, or they already have a second account that they are hiding from parents, like, a lot of things there are. I don't have a data, or I don't have reports regarding that, so I don't know about how it is actually helping, because the last podcast we talk about the reports that are done by Meta. And I like I said, the company, obviously it is done by Meta, and obviously they don't want to show their failures. And I want to know actual data, and if there are any kind of reports, any kind of, I will find it if I have any. So yeah, and another update is ChatGPT will no longer available in WhatsApp. So if you are using ChatGPT in WhatsApp as a chatbot, it will no longer available since 2026 January. So yeah, because Meta updated their policies, if you are using ChatGPT, no longer will be available. I personally don't even use any kind of AI. If I had to use it, I use Meta AI when it comes to a chat, uh, to ask any kind of questions, to explain something. In Meta has already read, and I don't, majorly 99% of the time I don't even use Meta that much, or even any kind of chatbots in regards to within WhatsApp. So yeah, if you are using ChatGPT, you can. I don't think you can do anything, but yeah, just to let you know. So I think yeah, that's it for, I will say, this week's episode. I think yeah, this episode again was supposed to be shorter. I don't know. I've been recording this for 1 hour 20 minutes, and I think 20 minutes will be cut down, so 1 hour episode will be there for this. Uh, the chemistry is working fine, at least in this. Like, it has not gone terribly, because last episode when I was recording, Camo was absolutely getting destroyed. The feed was the camera feed which was recording, getting destroyed and getting blanked out right now, um, which is not happening right now, which is actually good. It is, again, the lag is happening definitely, and I didn't find a new solution to that, and I know it, because you know uh, until and unless if it fix itself, I will be the happiest person, and I will, I don't know, Camo Studio is really good. I don't want to miss it, because please, only. Then uh, there are, like I said in the last episode too, I did have a couple of new interesting topics that I wanted to talk, but like I said, other interesting topics came. Android X, Samsung launched their own XR. Then the AI bubble topic was really, really interesting for me to talk about. Then those other topics. So if there is no any kind of significant new bold new topics by any kind of happening then on the internet we got from the companies, I will talk about context engineering. I will talk about poisoning, a simple amount of updates, or any kind of change can poison LLMs. That is so such a important, such a interesting topics. I will definitely say to have. If you want to read those topics, I will try to link those both the articles, blog post done by Anthropic, which is interesting. So yeah, I think yeah, this is it for this week's episode. If you have any kind of thoughts regarding AI bubble, what do you think of actually AI bubble? If you agree with me, if you don't, if you have any kind of different opinion regarding AI bubble, let me know down in the comment section. Let me know down in the comment section also about Atlas browser. If you have Mac, just download it and let me know how it is actually is. Is the user interface, user UI is actually good enough? Is the navigation actually good? Is it heavy as Chrome, or a lot of things are there? Is it actually happening natively? Whatever they talked about, in the stream that they talked about, this is actually happening natively on your PC, which I find hard to believe. But yeah, so let's see what is happening there too. Let me know your experience from Atlas browser if you are using AI bubble, and about Samsung XR, and what do you think about Vision Pro? Too much of a complicated topic, or too much of a complication happening for Apple. Let's see how they come up with new solutions. Next couple of updates for next year is going to be really interesting for Apple as a whole company. I'm looking forward to them. Samsung is one of the best, I will say, chillest company which has a lot of money. Even Samsung, Apple has too, but compared to Samsung, Samsung is a big giant monster, you know in compared to what, even a lot of, even as the company, it like it is a big company. Okay, they just make a lot of products compared to your Apple. Then let me know your thoughts regarding this episode. What you want me to cover? As I always say, every week, with every episode, let me know what you want me to cover. So yeah, this is it for, I will say, this week's episode for TechGuy podcast. I will see you guys next week, episode number 38. But this is it for episode number 31. I will see you guys next week. See ya.